Well, apparently we need Kevin because I can't figure out how to unmute Wendy.
Well, he is really good at his job, but we're going to figure this out. We're here live tonight, kind of an unexpected pop-up episode.
Yeah, live at the board building, as you can tell, bargaining team's here. We wanted to give a live update with where we are currently due to a couple of reasons. One, why don't we wait a few minutes to see how many people pop up? People are jumping in, so we're kind of going to give it a few minutes to see how many people we can get in here.
Okay, that sounds good. And thank you for those of you who've tuned in. I see we've got 18 people on now, according to our count. It's been an interesting night, and we have people joining us. This is the whole bargaining team kind of behind us. You guys want to say hey to our now 24?
Kevin, how do I get comments over here? If anybody's putting comments up, will they just pop up? It's already up. Okay. Well,
and if you guys can't hear us, or if any of this is because we're not in our normal studio, please let us know in the comments so that we can adjust accordingly.
Yeah, I'll turn the volume up just in case. We're up to 38. So why don't we start? There's a record of this. We're gonna it's gonna post after we're done, so people can look at it at their leisure. So why don't we get started?
Yeah, a lot of our members get up really early, so some people might even already be not looking at their, getting ready for bed.
Right. So as we said, live at the board building, we had a bargaining session at 5, and we had an interesting night, to say the least. We wanted to give everyone an update on where we are with the teachers contract. As you can see, we also have Bam, service worker president, and Stephanie, secretary president, with us. They've been with us all along, as we've been with them when they bargain. So just wanted to let you know who's in the room. So why don't we just get started? What we're going to do is we're going to go through our proposal that we gave to the district tonight. It was our turn to give to them, right?
Yeah.
And then we'll go through kind of theirs rather quickly, and maybe have some thoughts at the end that we share. Anything I'm missing with what we decided we were going to talk about?
No. And again, this is going to be a little less scripted than what we normally are. If people have questions, you can type something. We'll try to kind of keep an eye on our comments. But tonight was our bargaining session, as Ray mentioned, for teachers. We typically bargain. We've been bargaining 3 sessions for a group, and it was our turn to present something this evening. So we made a proposal, not a proposal, tonight to the board. You want to explain, Ray, what the difference is? I know we've talked about it with our members.
Yeah, real quick. A proposal is binding on the party that's making the proposal. You can't regressively bargain or go backwards from your proposal, meaning if we propose a 5% increase, we can't then go back and say we want a 6%. Or if we propose deleting language, we can't then go back and undelete that language. A proposal is kind of what it sounds like. It's not binding on the parties. You can go back to your last proposal, and if you can't get to agreement, you can go back to your proposal. But a proposal is kind of like, hey, Wendy, suppose I give you $3 for 7 cookies. And you say, well, suppose you gave me $4 for 6 cookies. And then we just go back and forth that way. So that's kind of the difference between proposal and proposal.
So we prepared, our team met before tonight to prepare and to go through comments that the district has made, to look at their last proposal, and basically prepare something that we wanted to present to them. And we want the membership to know we were really thoughtful in this process. We really tried to listen to what our board was asking of the union. In my notes, I wrote down that the school board has said, according to Mr. McCall, that the language in our contract is really important. Some of their language proposals, it's very important to them. They were very focused on what is best for students, they told us. So we tried to think about areas where we could move, where we could show in good faith that we were willing to make some hard compromises.
Right. Knowing that it was a proposal, and if we didn't get a deal done, that we could go back to our proposal. We made a package proposal, meaning it's a take all or take nothing. But I will tell you, when they give us a take all or take nothing, we kind of ignore it and then make tweaks to it. But that's kind of standard in what happens in bargaining. So we gave them, we prepped, took a long time, really being thoughtful about where we could move. We had some arguments on the team. Some people are upset about things, but ultimately we got to a place where we thought we had a good proposal where we made significant movement.
Yeah. So we're going to talk you through what we presented to them first, and then we'll talk about, because later they're going to come back with something too. So if you have the time to tune in, this is important information for our members.
And I guess the other thing I'll add before we get into this is one of the reasons we're doing this tonight is the superintendent had a memo prepared that he's going to send out. And we wanted to be fully transparent and get the information to our membership before that memo was sent out. So that's why it's 8:45 and we're doing a quick podcast.
Right. Instead of just a traditional, we bring this back to you in person, and we're still going to have conversations in person, but this is our way of communicating with you all before this memo goes out.
Yeah. And for those wondering, this isn't an agreement discussion. This isn't a tentative agreement.
No.
I wish it was that, but it is not. So
correct.
Why don't we start going through it? We don't have it up on screen, but what we're going to do is try and do our best to explain explain the language and explain where we move to give you kind of a flavor. So it's going to be in our kind of summary kind of words, I guess, Wendy.
Yeah.
Okay. So why don't we start? We'll just kind of go through this. Really, nothing in Article 1. So Article 4, use of school day. There's two things the district wanted here. One, they wanted to require teachers to enter student grades by the last workday of each week. So by Friday, any grades you took, they had to be input. We made a tweak to that and said that teachers shall enter 2 grades per week per student if grades are taken, to try and give some flexibility for teachers is kind of the thought process.
But also still give some of what they're asking for, which is, a situation where parents are more informed maybe about a student's progress. So we tried to compromise.
Right. Go. Why don't you take the next one, or do you want me to?
The next one is one of our favorite things, I'm sure. Attendance in the first couple minutes of class. So the district, for safety and accountability, every day they wanted to require teachers to accurately enter student attendance within 15 minutes. The word must was used in their proposal. And again, we talked about it for a long time, and we wanted to accommodate this. We do think it's important to take attendance. So we were just a little nervous about the must, and what if somebody forgets? So we tweaked it to are encouraged to take it in the first 15 minutes. That was our language.
Right.
Proposal.
Under materials and curriculum, this is where the big lesson plan discussion has been. We debated this, talked about this, and we basically settled on that we were okay in a proposal with putting lesson plans in a proposal. And our language reads, teachers must prepare their lesson plans before the first workday of each week for the week's lesson plans. We eliminated their 12-step process from our proposal, and then we also tweaked their language that talks about a substitute. Basically, we said that everyone shall maintain a subfolder with a plan for the day in case you're absent. And then it includes things like classroom rules, additional information a substitute may need to provide information. So big compromise on our part on that one, trying to, say that we recognize, we believe it's our professional responsibility to do lesson plans, but also lesson plans are for teachers to prepare and to instruct. So anyway, we simplified it.
Well, and under Article 8 also, they were asking for a couple things, including only using like board-approved curriculum, having a classroom syllabus. We, in our proposal, included that we were okay with having teachers prepare a classroom syllabus or something equivalent for our elementary colleagues on or before the first student attendance day. We felt like we could agree to that.
Right. You want to talk about department chair?
So Article 20 was the next part of the department. It's called department chair / head teacher. Parts of this we've already kind of TA'd, but for head teacher language, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah. But for department chairs, we did some homework. We talked to the current department heads at the high school, and we asked for more discussion basically around some of this. I'm getting the memo was sent.
Yeah, there it is.
Yep.
Memo was sent.
We figured it would be. Okay. So.
All right. Why don't we pause here and kind of talk about the memo real quick since it was out. I don't want people to freak out. So we're going to go through the rest of this information. We are going to have a membership meeting to discuss about all of this, but we wanted to bring this as quickly as we could to you. The superintendent's memo is very similar to the previous memo, Wendy, that he sent out.
Yeah.
It lists the salary increases that the district has offered in a proposal. And it's basically 3.5% on the base plus step for 4 years, which rounds out to be around, on average, 4.5%. So the closer you are to step one, your raise would be bigger. The further away you are from step one, your raise would be smaller. But when you look at your 25 steps, there's 24 steps to average it out. It's around 4.5% on average, the increase per year, assuming you can get a step. You'll also notice in the memo that he sent, they call this their last, best, and final offer. That's significant because that signals to us that they're not willing to move from this, from their last proposal. And they made it a proposal because they're bound by it. Next steps would be mediation. We're going to bring this back to the membership to discuss, to talk about, but that's the memo. We'll show it here shortly. I guess I should have put it up there. Again, Kevin is way better at this than I am. I'm not sure how to make it.
You're doing great.
Anyway, that's the memo. Very simple. I explained everything that's in it. We'll probably show it again here in a little bit, but just
you have it at home. Most of you that are union members, but
so that is the memo.
And it is just for the teachers certified, not teachers, but just for the certified contract.
Right. So back to department chair. I'm sorry I interrupted you.
No, that's great. I'm glad that we saw that and we had those posted so that we could kind of talk through that. Met with the department chairs. Part of what they do entails work over the summer. This proposal from the district was going to give them a little bit more money up front. At first, it sounded kind of good, but when we kind of looked through it, if they don't have the ability to work during the summer, it actually was probably going to be less money for them. And so we had mostly questions about it. We wanted to discuss job descriptions. We wanted them to have to discuss that with us if they change that for department chairs. We wanted to put language back in our proposal that would give them an extra plan period if they manage a lot of people in their department. In the proposed language or proposal from the district, they had the word evaluation a couple of times, and we wanted to change that to observation. And what am I forgetting? we wanted them to get paid if they worked beyond their school day.
Yeah, we
That was
wanted
in our proposal.
their extra days that they
Yeah.
get based on how many teachers they have in their department.
Yes, we were okay with allowing them to come in and do the observation part. We thought that was appropriate, but
Right.
we made some tweaks to that language.
Okay. You
Next,
done with that?
yep, that's it.
All right. Job bidding. I get the privilege to discuss this one. The district is still in their proposal saying that it's illegal. They believe, their attorney believes the language in bidding in your contract is illegal, and they are not willing to move on bidding. They want to remove bidding, which would then give them the ability to move you and fill vacancies and move you around. So we had a lengthy discussion about why we believed it's not illegal. Their other attorney, worked with us back when PARA took effect in 2012 to write this language to make it fit and conform to PARA. But the current proposal and last best and final proposal eliminates bidding for teachers.
We simply asked or proposed some minor language tweaks to change something in the law that has, we had some wording that wouldn't have worked, but their proposal would just eliminate it altogether.
Yep.
Okay, so the next article in our proposal, we were agreeing to give up Article 25. Is that where we're at?
Yeah, we talked a lot around in class coverage, recording your time daily, right? They want every time you do class coverage it to be recorded in some way. We didn't settle on anything there. It's still in their proposal, but I think there's some willingness for us to work together on that to get that done. But go on to assistance for legal cases.
So there was some language in the contract about like they have to notify the proper authorities and things of that. And we agreed in our, we proposed in our proposal to go ahead and eliminate that.
Right.
Homebound teachers is next.
We are on a shitty cycle where I keep bringing up bad news.
Do you want me to do one of the bad news?
Okay. Homebound teachers and summer school teachers, as you remember, they have proposed and supposed that they can assign any teacher to homebound that they want. They wanted to get rid of a rotation. So now we supposed that you keep the same rotation. We supposed adding that you could do homebound remotely via Zoom or some other, process, upped the amount for it. So that's what we supposed.
Yeah. They want to be able to just make us do it though.
Yeah,
so.
Correct.
Article 30, sick leave for certified staff. I don't think we proposed a lot of difference there. We wanted to continue to be able to use full day, half day, or 1 hour increments. That's what we put in our proposal to them. There's some language about like how things are prorated if you're employed part of the year. So we left some of this. We wanted to explain issues with some of the language for call off. They would like for us, as you might recall, to call off for 2 hours in advance of when you're supposed to be at work. We asked to discuss that more because we explained we didn't really have a huge problem with calling off earlier and giving notice, but what if something happens? Like we needed to make adjustments if there's an emergency, if you have a flat tire, if you wake up and your child is sick. So in our proposal, we asked to discuss that.
Yeah. So the next article, sick leave tardy abuse for certified. Our proposal was go back to book, meaning our previous contractual language.
Yes. And then we're going to get some repetition here. So the sick leave for non-certified employees, it absolutely, the changes that I just mentioned would be the same for paraprofessionals and health aides.
Sick leave tardy abuse, medical statements for certified and non-certified. They did submitting doctor statements for 1 day but school code statute allows them to do that if they want, but they have to pay for it. They supposed pretty much getting rid of this whole article. So sick leave abuse would then fall under the progressive discipline article, which, is also problematic, but we'll get there in a second.
So Article 35, personal business days. If you'll recall, when Mr. McCall went around and did conversations with individual teachers, direct dealing or whatever, he did.
I know.
He talked to them about being able to allow to use your personal days for anything that you kind of wanted to use it for. And we were concerned with some of the language that was out there. We felt like it took it from 5 to 3. Some of it didn't carry over. You could only use it if others in your building, if too many people weren't off. So we asked to go back basically to our 5 days.
Right.
And was that one back to book, right?
Yeah, back to book. We asked just to go back to what we already had in the contract.
Okay, so that's what was in our proposal for that.
Yeah. Next one is discharge and suspension for non-probationary, non-certified. We already agreed to a bunch of language here, some tweaks. They put job abandonment back in, Wendy, in this proposal. They tried to get in number 8, any employee who fails to report to work or leaves the job. We said no to that one.
Yeah, it was not part of our.
But the big piece here is in progressive discipline, they want to make the 5 steps: written notice, 3 days off, or 3-day suspension, 5-day suspension, 10-day suspension, termination. They wanted to remove several of the steps and only make it a 3-step progressive discipline. And then they wanted to change language where if you didn't get discipline within a year, your progressive discipline will be wiped out. And they wanted to say you would just move backwards 1 step. So if you're on step 4, you would move back to step 3. The current language says you move back all the way to step 1.
Correct.
So we said back to book. We said no to that in this proposal.
We also said no and back to book for the transfer policy. So we did not agree to just say you could be transferred anywhere.
Yeah.
But we did make some pretty, I felt concessions on.
Did you skip a couple of pages?
Did I?
You skipped 38, Article 38, continuing ed.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I probably did.
Yeah. They accepted the bumps there and raising the cap. So they accepted our offer on that one. So now you're at transfer. I'm sorry.
Okay. Well, and some of the ones that weren't really part of our proposal, I was just covering what we took.
I got you. Okay.
Okay.
I'm with you.
So the transfer policy, though, we did not agree. We asked to go back to book so that they couldn't just transfer a teacher for any reason.
Next one is health, dental, and life insurance, which predominantly dealt with the premium cap that they pay for your health insurance currently. The current number that they pay in your contract is $7,979, Wendy, for single, and then an additional $3,692 for the dependent options. We supposed, or they supposed, adding nothing to that, keeping the caps the same.
Right.
We initially supposed 10,000 and 5,000. Our proposal this time was going from 10,000 to 9,000 for single, and from 5,000 to 4,500 for the dependent-based options.
So that's a pretty significant change.
Yeah, we
felt
bumped, yeah, for sure.
There was also an attendance incentive that's been out there for a while, and part of it was agreed to. The district had agreed to make the amounts greater. So if you missed no sick or personal days, it went from like $300 to about $1,000. We decided, okay, we had been holding out that they would include no personal days in that. So you would be able to, use some personal time, but still get if you improved your sick leave. But we decided to, in this proposal, let them have it as just the bumps to the amounts and give on the personal days.
Right. So some of you are asking questions in the comments. Aaron Reeve is doing a good job of trying to answer them. I appreciate that, Aaron. Aaron, if there's something that you feel like you can't answer, I don't want this to turn into some huge question and answer kind of thing, but just let us know and we'll try and address it. I'm trying to keep track of it, but it's kind of hard for me to do multiple things.
Yeah.
No, I appreciate what you're doing, seriously.
A lot of people have been asking, I've noticed, are they not addressing service workers and secretaries right now? And this was only an offer right now for teachers or certified staff. And we have to still get to this, trying to do these separately.
Right. And
we are seeking better terms for everybody.
Correct. Yeah. And we've been on that cycle, 3 on 3 off. The secretaries have, their bargaining was canceled, one whole 3 session. But yeah, we're trying to get back on cycle. All right, my turn. Retirement incentive, and I'll address this for both certs and non-certs because the language is the same in both.
Yeah.
They have supposed going from a 5-year retirement incentive down to a 4-year retirement incentive. They are proposing going from 10 years to be eligible to 15 years to be eligible to enter the retirement track. They are supposing a different way to calculate the retirement benefit credible earnings, which could be beneficial to us. And we've gone back and forth. So basically, we supposed, just a concept, because language, I could write a ton of language and then they say no, and I wasted my time. They could write a ton of language and we say no, and they wasted their time. So we proposed just a very generic concept with language to be worked out later. 5-year track, just like you currently have. 6% increases from year to year, just like you currently have. 10 years to be eligible for the incentive, just like you have now. We have to remove post-retirement payout out of it, but we want to keep this benefit intact as close to what we have it to give your members the 6% bumps for 5 years. That's the gist.
Yeah. Good job with that.
Yeah.
Okay. So are we on Article 52 now, salary schedule?
I believe so.
So one of the things the district has asked for is being able, the flexibility to be able to pay people more to come to our district. And, we had concerns about that. We didn't want to necessarily say no to that because we do want people to come to our district, but we also don't think it's fair that they make a lot more than people who have worked here every year and been loyal employees. So we tried to make some movement. We said instead of a maximum of 10 years of credit, we supposed we could allow 15 years of credit to somebody who has prior experience, but we asked that they give current staff up to 5 additional years of service for credit that they may have missed out on if they missed out on something.
Correct. If they missed out.
Yeah.
So my perspective here, just to kind of give some context, for those of you that have been around a while, 2008-ish, we started limiting how much service the district could give for outside service credit, transferring schools from one district to another. We started limiting that because people took freezes because of the financial crisis and all that, right? Well, a few years ago, probably 2-3 years ago, that tide has kind of shifted again. And unions and districts that I work with outside of Cahokia have started to open up more, give more service credit. Some have gone unlimited. Some have gone to some different concepts of will FOIA and see where their salary is and keep their salary whole so that they can come here and keep the same salary. The 15 years is kind of a compromise in both. It not only takes care of trying to hire some new qualified candidates in Cahokia, but it also then addresses people that may not be on the proper step. So that's that.
Yeah. Okay. And that's pretty much.
Yeah.
That.
Yeah.
Okay.
Finally, you get something.
All right, so probably the biggest concession in our proposal, and it was hotly debated by our team. There was nobody that was excited to offer this. It does not align with students, putting students first, in our opinion, but we felt that we needed to show an ability to move and to meet the district at least halfway. So we proposed or we supposed giving up our favored nations article to them tonight. We would remove it, and the district, in return, though, would need to remove their residency proposal as part of the package deal. So one of the things that they have argued about the favored nations clause is that it's very unusual that other people don't have it, and we don't need it. Well, other contracts really don't have this residency thing either.
Mhm.
And so we said we would, in our proposal, we would give up favored nations, but they needed to drop that from their proposal.
And know that this is a proposal, and we can go back to putting it back in.
Yeah.
Some of the things we talked about, and I thought Wendy and I did a really good job of kind of pointing out some issues. We talked about some of the things you've seen on the podcast. We talked about administrator salary versus state average, where they're right on target. We talked about teacher salaries and how you're 16,000 behind state average. We talked about how this favored nations clause has really been a hindrance to let their salaries blow up. We've said in the past that we know what he's going to do if we give this up. But ultimately, after several hours of debate on the team, this was the big one that we decided to move on in hopes that they would move and be reasonable. So that's kind of the background.
Yeah. Okay, so Article 57, was there movement on the drug testing thing?
Yeah, we just agreed that we went back to book on most of it, but added a line that if any employee operating a district vehicle shall be drug tested, alcohol tested following any accident. That's pretty standard language.
Correct. And we asked for, was it a 3-year contract?
3-year. Yep. They want a 4. We asked for a 3.
We asked for a 3. Minor tweaks to some other things. Let's go.
Yeah. Talked about resident incentive, that we wanted to remove that with favored nations.
We also looked at timesheet. They have, a million lines of timesheet proposals, and I don't think anybody on our team is opposed to modernizing the way that we put in, our hours and keep time. But we felt there was a lot of concerns that we had about how the language was written. So in our proposal, we said and there were board members here tonight, but we said we're not opposed to doing this, but we needed to work on language.
Yeah. They supposed, again, eliminating 3 past practices, granting employees comp time in lieu of overtime, eliminating a practice to convert vacation time to sick leave at the end of the fiscal year, and then practice to eliminate providing benefits for a staff member that resigned at the end of the year. So currently, if you are a certified staff member, I guess, or a para, and you resign to go work elsewhere at the end of the year, they continue to pay you through the summer, and they continue to provide you health insurance under the contract. There's a statute written to protect employees that says if you resign, they have 3 working days to provide you with what they owe you monetarily. But if they do that, you lose the ability to earn benefits like health insurance. Most districts do an either or. Like if the person wants to get paid out, we'll pay them, and then they have no benefits for the summer. Most districts just provide it. They want to eliminate those 3 practices.
Yeah. The district also proposed a new evaluation instrument for most of the non-certified employees in the district. Some of those are covered under this contract language, and for our non-certified and the certified contract, we said we're not necessarily opposed to having a new evaluation tool. We would work together on that, but we have concerns about the way this one is written. There's some words like loyalty that are very subjective and that we wouldn't be comfortable just agreeing to as it's written.
Right. Get the salary. We proposed a 3-year deal, 5% on each cell plus step for employees eligible for step, which means you take your existing salary schedule, you plug in 5% to each step, right? That indexes the schedule. Is done differently, right? Currently, the way your schedule is done is you put all the money on row 1 or the 3.5% that they're offering, and then the steps are based on a dollar amount all the way down. So we offered 5% on cell plus step for certs, and then for non-certs, basically the same thing, 5% on hourly rate plus step for the employees eligible for step.
Yeah. We actually added one thing to our proposal. We've been talking about it throughout. We wanted PLC language that would offer some guidelines for how that operates. It would create language that say it's teacher led and things like that. So we included that in our proposal.
Right. All right. So do we want to move real quick to their proposal? It's called a last, best, and final package proposal, which means they are done moving according to it being a last, best, and final.
Before we do that part, when we were presenting to their team, there were several board members here this time, but when we were talking about defining what a lesson plan is, and we were talking about our willingness to move on this and to, agree that yes, teachers have to have a lesson plan. Mr. McCall presented us with his template. He said he wanted us to see that it wasn't as bad as what people had said, that it was only about a page, that it wasn't all this stuff. And he brought us packets that show that, and it actually is 2 pages. And we have a lot, there's a lot of things in it that are very oddly worded. It seems
Shocker.
Extremely lengthy. I've been a teacher for a very long time. I would never, ever choose this lesson plan. I don't know who selected it, but it's very odd, what I'm going to say, and long.
Agree. I think the other thing at the end that I'll mention, I talked a lot about, or not a lot, maybe a little bit about what's wrong with the district. Why can't it attract new, vibrant teachers to the district? Why are there so many openings? We can probably all agree here at the table that long-term subs aren't in the best interest of students, that students deserve a certified teacher. I talked about the disparity in teacher pay to their peers, and how I went kind of through the chart that I went through on the podcast, and how much more you earn in other districts throughout the career. I said, no disrespect to Tanya, but no other districts have 2 assistant superintendents earning over $200,000 a year.
I think we have 3.
Yeah. Tried to, again, talking to the board, like in any other district, you could probably at the hour we are in bargaining, you could probably make some headway. 2 of the board members.
Well, I'm just going to say, so Wes Woodford was here this evening. So was Debbie Duncan. So was Rich Duncan. And then the board president was on the phone listening. But so they were here, and we were able to at least talk to them or say some things in their presence that I don't know if that's always shared or not. That's always my concern. When you bargain and you're only with a superintendent or their bargaining team, that maybe the board members don't hear some of this, but we definitely talked about how Cahokia cannot attract teachers, that our pay is not competitive and that is not in the best interest of our students at all. And that some of the things that have been on the table also drive people away because they are not what our colleagues in other schools are facing. Other colleagues take sick leave, for instance.
Yeah. So they caucused, they met, they left the room and met for what, 15, 20 minutes probably. And they came back with their last best and final package proposal. So they put basically their last offer that they gave us in a proposal into a proposal, a last best and final. And they explained it as in they made 2 changes to what they had. So all the things we said they were trying to take away are still in here, with the exception of 2. Do you want to?
Yeah. So for everybody that read what he sent after he went around and visited classrooms and said he wanted everyone to hear the same message, but only shared it with certain people, we did get it then in an email. If you've read that, you know what that looked like. Okay. And it's something you can still refer to. That's what we were given, but with 2 changes. Did I say that right?
You did. And I don't even remember what the 2.
So I know what they are. So
okay,
they have moved on personal leave.
Oh,
So
right.
So let's go to personal leave, Ray. And
I think it's like Article 30 something maybe.
Yeah. So our personal business days, they are
35.
now, Article 35. Teachers and support personnel will be authorized a maximum of 5 days. So the 5 days are sort of back. Unused personal leave at the end of the school year will be converted to sick leave, which is good. Notification for personal absence with pay will be directed to the superintendent. An employee shall be limited to using no more than 3 days of personal leave at any time. So this would at least kind of clarify, that yes, you could use several days. Personal leave shall be limited to a maximum of 2 teachers and a maximum of 2 educational support employees on any day. Approval shall be granted in order of the receipts received. We mentioned this is really bizarre kind of for really large buildings, the high school, the middle school. We have a lot of employees there.
Right.
And they did say they might be willing to work on that.
Right.
So requests for personal leave before or after a holiday, during teacher institute days, during parent teacher conferences, they may be granted or denied at the sole discretion. So that part isn't that different,
Right.
but it does also remove that you would not be able to use it for personal pleasure.
Right.
The way I'm
You
understanding
can go
this,
on a
you could use it-
vacation. You could do whatever
Yeah.
you want with your personal days.
You could use
So that is a benefit.
it is a benefit. So then everything else that was in that
Remain the same.
remains the same. The second item
Salary.
was salary.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Go
do you
ahead.
want to? Okay. Well, it's a 4-year contract.
Yeah.
And it is a 3.5% increase on base plus steps for employees eligible for that step. So that would be every year a 3.5% on base. So that's on like the first salary on whatever schedule you're on, not an individual cell, and then a step increase.
Right.
Okay. And that's for non-certified and teachers, certified staff under the teacher's contract only.
Right. Yeah, we haven't really got to a point with the other 2 groups where we're close to this yet.
Yeah.
Close to a last best and final.
Well, and we can see from Mr. McCall's letter that he just sent to everybody what that means in terms of dollars, for the 25-26 school year, we would all get, if you're eligible for a step, you would get the step, but then $1,535 plus the step.
Right. So, when they came back in, they kind of gave us a speech about they really acknowledged that we moved and appreciated it, but only tweaked 2 things. And yeah, it's I don't know. Oh, he wants to fix. Thank
Producer Kevin here. This is all going on.
I know.
I get kind of testy. I'll own that. Some of the stuff that they are talking about, like the 15 minutes for putting in your attendance and things, you know, it seems like nobody that's ever been a teacher, or at least a teacher recently, comes up with some of this. And I said that because this is why teachers are leaving. So I did get.
Yeah, look, I think I don't know. Do you want to give thoughts on this? Do you want to do that?
I've enjoyed reading the thoughts of our members.
All right, so
on this.
so let me give. So I think the tone of our bargaining team is disappointment,
Yeah.
is anger, is disbelief, because none of this proposal, I won't say none of it, the majority of this proposal does not make sense with doing what's in the best interest of students. None of this proposal makes sense with recruiting and retaining good quality people, educators, non-educators, whatever title you are, doesn't keep and recruit good quality people. No part of this proposal, the majority of this proposal, does what they say they want. And I think, the bargaining team's upset. You got testy, which is good because you.
I wanted to be way testier, but I was trying to remember my position and not just be myself.
Yeah, no, you handled yourself perfectly.
So some of my thoughts on this, I feel as though it's very short-sighted from their perspective. And I have thought this for a very, very, very long time, that just about every decision that our district makes, it's more self-serving than it is for the betterment of children. I feel proud of what we put forward. It wasn't an easy proposal to come up with. Our team tried to be fair. We tried to give the things that they asked for. But we also tried our best to pick things that we could give on that would benefit kids. Even as we were doing it, I didn't totally believe that all of it did. I think in our district, bidding helps kids. When teachers pick the grade level that they are the expert at, that benefits kids. Crazy requirements for lesson plans that are odd lesson plans take away teachers' time. It doesn't benefit kids. But I was willing to say, okay, this is what our bosses want. We'll try it. For them to not even really nibble at any of this, considering how far behind we are with districts in the area with our pay, it's just, again, a lack of leadership and extremely disappointing.
Yeah. I don't know. I think, this is what I do for a living. And the last few years, every district has seen people leave for mostly increased pay. Okay. Most districts have upped their years of service they'll give. So if I could jump from district X to district Y, and they're going to give me all my years of service and their salary schedule's better, and I'm going to make $12,000 more overnight, people are doing that. Right.
And why wouldn't they? Yeah.
But what districts are also doing and have done, and I have, as I said, 17 other places that I do this in. what other districts have done is other districts have looked at ways to make teachers and staff life easier, to keep people. Districts have looked at things they can do that really don't cost money to lighten the load, to keep people. Like, I work here, I like it here. You're going to give me as much of a raise as you can give me, and I'm fine with that. And you're going to make my work life easier and better. Great. I'll think about staying. I won't think about leaving for an extra $10,000. The I don't even know the word to use. The insane part of this is your district has the biggest turnover rate out of anywhere I've seen. Your district has the most open positions out of anywhere I've seen. And your leader, and I shouldn't even use that. Yeah. You're the guy in charge, who runs the school board, right? Because they don't make decisions. They sat here tonight and were so disengaged. Two of them probably didn't even know what we were talking about. Is doing the exact opposite. He's doing everything to make things worse. He's doing everything to, as it appears, to make people leave.
Yeah.
Which you and I talked about this today, and I can't wrap my head around why a superintendent who is in this profession, and I've dealt with some idiot superintendents, let's just put it that way. and they still
cared about kids.
Yeah. I can't make sense of it. I can make sense of it, but and we all know, we've said it 100 times, how you make sense of it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's 9:30 at night. We have a ton of people that are outraged by this too. And the teacher group is very tight. I mean, they come to all the things, and we want your input on this. We're going to have a meeting to talk about it. We're disappointed too. Doesn't mean that we give up. I mean, we'll talk about all of our different options, but I really did not want you to get the memo that, and a couple people were saying it seems like they had it prepared in advance. It does mine has a number 2 at the top.
So I wonder what number 1 was.
We don't know what number 1 was. We did talk about a lot of different things. We tried to make the board aware of some of the frustrations that members feel. Sorry. But I don't know how much they really listened to any of that. But at least it was said. At least they can't say they don't know.
Yeah. So what's next? What's next is we are going to bring this package, last, best, and final proposal, to the teacher group to explain it as a whole, to give everyone the same information at the same time. Obviously, people can watch the podcast or tell people, they'll get that information. But we want to be able to sit with everyone, discuss it, let you ask questions, and then we're going to take a vote on it. We're going to have you vote on if you want it or not. We need to hear from you. We need to hear your thoughts on whether you want to accept this or not. And then if you accept it, it's your new contract. If you don't, then we're going to talk to you about what parts you don't like. And then we're going to go back to the district. Probably that would entail entering mediation, because mediation is kind of the next step in the process. But now is the time. We will be amping up actions if we don't want this. So that's also something that people are going to have to think about. I want to give a shout out to all the people in the room behind us, Ray. Yeah.
First of all, we've made a lot of them stand this whole time so they could be seen, and that's we tried not to be long-winded, but we wanted you guys to all hear that. But our bargaining team has attended all of these meetings. This is not easy. He is not a friendly person to deal with, and so we are trying to be good about a counterbalance to some of this insanity. Like, we are here for our students, and we want to do what's right for them and for each other and for the legacy of the Cahokia Unit School District. What's happening is just appalling. And I really hope that the community hears what's happening and gets involved.
Yeah. We're going to require you to do a lot. And we're going to have the discussion when we meet. Are you willing to do that or not? And we're going to assume at this point that you are, based on the comments that we see, right?
Yeah.
But we're going to need a commitment from every person. We're going to need a commitment from every member, whether you live an hour away or you have kids in soccer, whether you have to cook dinner when you get home. We are going to need you to get the contract that you want. This group here has done an amazing job, but we've already.
The comments are, we'll read all of them when we end the live, but the comments have lifted my spirits a lot.
Yeah, I agree.
Because we're like-minded. We all want what's best for our colleagues. We want what's best for our own futures, of course, but also for, again, this community and the students who will go to school here.
Yeah. And Nicole, for sure, we need community members involved. We appreciate your support. You've, kind of supported us from the beginning.
From
with
the
Facebook.
very beginning.
Yeah.
She's been amazing.
And yeah, for sure. So we definitely will be talking to you about what we can do to rally the community. So anyway, anybody want to add anything?
Come to the membership meeting.
Yeah, we need
And
you.
the meters membership.
So they're saying, come to the meetings. We need you.
We've got to hear their voice.
Yeah. This is the time for your voice to be heard. So we should have every member at our membership meeting. So stay tuned for when we're going to do that. We're going to try and do that this week early. Or
Yeah, we'll set a date and we'll get that out. And we're looking at other ways to communicate. I know that we were even just talking about it last night so that everybody gets the same message. One other thing that I think is important to talk about, I know we're talking about teachers and the teachers' contract right now. And that is only because the district has put this horrible proposal to us. But that it's not that we don't care about secretaries and that we're not equally concerned for them. Same way with service employees. We don't have a lot of confidence that great offers are going to come across for any of these groups. But we do not want it to seem like we're not worried about that or concerned. It's just, this is the message that we have right now. This is the first of the 3 contracts that the district has given us a last best final offer for. So if you hear people talking about that and there's misunderstanding, please help us educate our members so that we are stronger together and that we are not fooled by messages that may be sent by this team.
Yeah. And more to come for the secretaries and service workers. We're going to be meeting with them to discuss strategy wise what we want to do to bring the 3 groups even closer together.
Yeah.
So
meetings forthcoming with that as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, are we going to sign off for the evening?
Unless you want to keep talking.
We need everybody to go to bed so they can come to work tomorrow.
Yeah.
Somebody did, Tanya Williams asked a question. I don't know if you want to answer that. How do we ensure we have the full support and say, when it comes to other contracts, seems like teachers contract give the union the most leverage concern for what happens to the others once that's.
So that's the stuff that we're going to talk about definitely with other groups, because that's on our minds as well. It's a great question and we have strategies for that.
We do. Yeah. And we should be talking about that strategy early next week as well.
Yeah.
We're going to be asking the secretaries and superintendent. God, we're going to be asking the secretary and service workers to do some things with the teachers. So
yeah. Okay, well, thank you so much for making time to hear this tonight.
Yeah. All right. Well, I don't know. Doesn't feel like we should do our normal closing. So, what were you gonna say, Brent?
Share the Chris Bell post.
Oh, they want you to share the Chris Belt post in the background. That's what our bargaining team is saying. And I know that I've heard that throughout the day in the building. So a lot of you have already done that, but that's what the team wants.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone, and we will be in touch about a meeting. And thanks for coming on in such short notice.
Yep. Good night.
All right. Night.